Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Onward VR Master League. I am your caster, Gnome, and I am joined today by my good friend and co-caster, Sleepy, as well as our analyst on the analyst desk, Mr. NightFiree himself. Sleepy, how are you today? We'll start with you.
I'm doing well, Noman. Thank you so much for having me. It's going to be a great day. We've got two excellent teams battling it out for chances into the top 7 and securing that bye week next week.
Absolutely.
Certainly a good bit on the line for both of these teams, although I think if we take a look at the, dive into the MMR ratings, I am curious if they can get enough in the MMR to boost themselves up to 7th. Because right now, I think after a win from Silent Purge, it's thrown things off just a little bit.
Yeah, there's definitely still room for shakeups. Obviously, we are in our final day of the final week of regular season, so this is the beginning of the road to the championships, and these teams are looking to try and make up whatever ground they can in this final matchup. There's still a few matches going on. There's actually one going right now on Master League 1 as well. Which is a pretty solid matchup. So lots of good stuff going on, and we'll see how this shakes out. We don't have a ton of time because everybody's filing in, so let's get ourselves right into the bans here, and we'll just kind of quickly discuss them. So the home ban for Mayhem came out as Suburbia. Any thoughts on that as a ban?
I mean, the obvious conclusions, taking away a close quarters map, keeping things a little bit more comfortable for the Mayhem squad. I wonder if it's a pick for them or against Blaze. I'll dive into the stats and get back to you on that shortly, but not really terribly surprising, I suppose. Gotta wonder what their game plan is going into today.
Absolutely, and the ban coming out on the Blaze side is Quarantine. Sleepy, any thoughts on the Quarantine ban?
It's a pretty intelligent ban, if I would say so myself. Mayhem are no weakness on Quarantine. It's probably one of, if not their favorite map, and mine too. But they are dangerous on it, so Blaze smart to ban that one against this team.
Absolutely, and we have got our first map already sitting and decided, and that's going to be Subway. Subway's going to be the first pick. That is Mayhem's pick, as they are opting to start out on offense. So I'm pretty excited about this series, guys. What are your, let's start with you, NightFiree. What are your sort of high-level predictions? How do you feel like, are we going to see a close session here?
I'm looking at the numbers, and I got no idea what Mayhem's doing. They have, their highest win rate is on Suburbia. Out of any of the maps they play, Suburbia, they do the best. Blaze has a slightly lower win rate on it. It's not their lowest. Bazaar is where they're the least successful, but it's not their best by any means. I guess, you know what, I am seeing here Suburbia Knight, but that's only one game played, one win, so the stats are padded a little bit for that, but it's just based off of numbers, I'm not getting a clear insight into what Mayhem's thinking, and my next thought is that Mayhem's trying to shake things up right now. Maybe they're trying to bring in something new, some new strategy. They're trying to throw Blaze off of the numbers. I'm not 100% sure.
I'm also considering the fact that it might be a roster specific ban, right? Like if you don't have your strongest Suburbia player, you don't want to play that map. And
sure.
The roster itself, we can quickly go over it here. We'll be diving into the rounds shortly. Just waiting on one member of Blaze to make it into the lobby. Excuse me. The Mayhem side of the house is fielding Theta, Potato Bot, James Boke, Wookie, and Monarchid. And on the Blaze side, they've got Prefontaine, Verds, Cryocell, Zero, and Silent Knight. So Sleepy, I'm going to pull to you for just a moment. What are your initial thoughts here? We talked about sort of the bans and what we've got left on the table. We kind of have an idea of the maps we're going to go to. What are your feelings on shorter range maps? We talked about Mayhem being strong on Quarantine. What are your feelings about them on a map like Subway with these tight corridors?
Well, I don't think they're going to be at any disadvantage per se, just because they're here on these quarantine or these tight corridor typed maps, very lane sufficient, lane heavy. But then again, Blaze are no slouch either. They're very quick on the draw with most of their weaponry. This is a Mayhem pick, however, so obviously we're going to see the weights favor a little bit towards them because they're going to be the ones feeling confident enough to be the ones to choose it.
Absolutely. Well, we have given the green light to the teams here. We're about to go underway in our first round here of Subway. They've got the North Stairs objective is the first plan of attack for Mayhem. Blaze on the defense. I'm curious if Mayhem's going to go for the direct approach. This is one of those objectives that, you know, between the North and South, they both have their pros and cons, and I'm always interested to see which way a team favors, or if they do the split. I haven't seen a ton of teams doing splits, but I'm going to get into this action here pretty soon.
Looking forward to it. I think I would have liked to see a bit of a closer contention in terms of that 7th place spot for this matchup, but I'm sure both these teams coming in here very focused, trying to take away this W. Any little MMR boost is going to matter and help you, get that much closer to getting out of this wild card tournament. But I mean, you want to talk about two teams that you would really not expect to have to play in the wild card. Mayhem and Blaze are very strong squads that have been kind of dangling in the top 10 for the entirety of the season. And now, that last week of your season, the last regular season gameplay, it's the last time you get to sort of maybe experiment with some new strategies before you get into the wild card tournament. It's a good opportunity, honestly, and I wonder if we're going to see anything new today from this Mayhem or Blaze squad. Just within the matches today, beginners kind of breaking out some new unique smokes, and I'll shush as we hop into the action.
Absolutely. Round 1 is going underway here, so let's take a look. How the game plays. See, and there we go. We are into the action here on round 1. We're just kind of hanging out with the Blaze boys on the defense. We'll see how tight they opt to stick to this objective, because I know a lot of teams will get punished. They'll try to spread out a little bit. They'll anticipate a heavier push on one side or another, and they'll leave the objective a little too open. But so far, we have got no direct rush from the Mayhem boys. They're just kind of tucked in up top here. We'll sort of follow from their spawn. Looks like, yeah, they're up here in the North Alley. They are just waiting. They're waiting to see if there's going to be any aggressive pushes from the Blaze side, but opting to stay tucked in on this OBJ, which I think is the right call. I think exploring these tunnels would just be so dangerous. There's no reason to lose a defender so early. Put a pre-fire there, and C4 going off a bit early. Cryocell. Gonna have some action here pretty soon. Monarchid and Potatoes start to round the corner. Will he be able to spot him out? I don't know that Monarchid saw him. Needs to be ready for this 2 push in the stairs. He's gonna have 2 to deal with. He doesn't find the kill, and Monarchid will find the first pick of the game. Now we are getting into the territory of the drone. The drone's gonna be spotting out our defensive locations. Zero able to down that quickly. Now the North Stairs are saturated with Mayhem players. See how their approach here looks. I anticipate lots and lots of smokes. Lots and lots of gunfire. We're getting in here pretty soon. 2 minutes burned in the round.
Yeah, Mayhem definitely taking their time to make this approach. 4 minutes. Still quite a bit for an objective that's not too far away.
You want me to smoke it or no?
We're gonna see exactly how this works. So a lot of the defense there in the south for Blaze really not going to pan out, and just like that, Zero going down.
Great work there from Mayhem to be able to get that shot in. Monarchid's pushing for the corner. Now the tab's out. Bird's gonna make a chuck for the C4, but it's gonna get stuck to the objective. He's got no option. He pushes the corner. He stops the cap though. PotatoBot gonna get the refrag, and a double grenade trade happens. The C4 gets blown. The trade goes out. PotatoBot's over here now all by himself. He could be going for this cap. Prefontaine in on the rush now. Pat's coming out. Oh, he goes for the fake. He comes up. He goes for the corner, looking at the trade, but Mayhem, with 2 players still left on the board, get the point and take round 1.
I was kind of waiting to see what the Mayhem strategy was there. Theta was slowly inching his way underground, working on a flank, and honestly, they just never ended up needing it. You know, a nice clean push down the stairs. And honestly, I mean, in my opinion, I think it was a bit of a light defense for this objective up on these north stairs. What we've seen pay off the best for for Volk squads defending here is to invest 2, sometimes 3, to charge up these stairs, have utility, throw C4, nades, challenge the push down this lane. And, you know, it's a lot more volatile. It's a lot more dangerous, obviously, as you also are yourself vulnerable to some explosives, but it's necessary, right? If you give up these north stairs, it becomes such an easier task for the squad to slowly work their way in. Teams have figured out how to effectively work down these stairs with shields and smokes and nades, going prone, splitting up, you know, applying the pressure as they did. And it was a really open objective. Mayhem doing a nice job of moving when they could. And, you know, certainly a good job of Blaze rotating in for the defense, you know, going in for those trades right on those cappers that were trying to punch in the code. Good job of saving what could have been, I mean, I think there's about 5 seconds of pad out with codes getting punched in there where, you know, they were very close to having a 2-0 lead on Blaze.
For sure. Blaze, or Mayhem, I mean, sorry, definitely had those angles for checking the defense on the objective figured out. They did not need to second guess anything, and they were kind of ready for all the scenarios. They were ready for someone to kind of press Monar. They weren't quite ready for pre because it was a little abstract. You know, you pulled the tablet with the bait and so on, but either way, we're into round 2.
We are into round 2, and it is kicking off with Blaze on the offense, attacking that same objective, heading down the north stairs. Bird's bringing the shield with him this time, so we're going to see a bit of a difference in attack here. Mayhem not opting to bring a shield on their push. We'll see how Blaze opt to push these stairs. It's not going to be Mayhem if we don't see a C4 somewhere in play here. Prefontaine with a little early smoke to... That's actually a perfectly placed smoke. The blind PotatoBot, but will they react off of it?
Yeah, Theta's got the backside and the center covered here on the catwalks, but unlikely he's going to be seeing very much action, because I don't see any of the players moving to that location. But a good thought on the defense. It is a good area that they could come in from.
Yeah, we see the differences in the defense here. Just taking a quick look at the overhead map, and you see they've got those 3 stacked in the tunnel. Those 2 in the southeast is an interesting choice. Like NightFiree just mentioned, having people off of that objective, you know, for more than 5 seconds is so dangerous.
PotatoBot and Verds now seconds away from each other. Verds are going to pop the corner to try and chuck a grenade, but it clips his shield or the wall or something. Shut up.
Theta does find the trade up top as Cryocell did push the catwalk. Silent Knight will get the confirm on Mono, and a trade of nades here. We'll have Verds and James attacking each other now, and the confirm comes out. A very nice play there by James, but Prefontaine able to capitalize on that laggy res from James. Not able to get a syringe in time, and now Prefontaine's gonna have to push these north stairs. Ion alone here as Zero and Silent Knight are pushing through the south stairs. There is just one member of Mayhem remaining as Wookie pushes out and finds Silent on the OBJ on the southeast side.
Looks like Blaze just needs to find themselves a blind approach to this objective wall. If they stay on the inside of this corner, oh, never mind, Wookie's going to make them hurt for it. But now is Prefontaine's opportunity to sneak his way down. Now he's going to be the only one left. Wookie's going to be back in forward, so Pre's going to have to time this well. But no, the look comes up the stairs. Prefontaine takes the shots, and Blaze take their Marsoc round. We trade Marsoc rounds here, going 1-1 on map 1.
You know, I think we saw pressure sort of getting to the Mayhem defense there. Obviously, when you lose your upstairs defenders, that's when things start to go bad, right? Because if you invest 3 or 2 in pushing up onto this lane, it's risky. If they die, then you don't have the fallback plan that a lot of defenses do, where they have maybe 1 or 2 tucked behind the soda machine, one on the corner, another one around by the entry point. There's a lot of other defensive options that do end up stalling teams a little bit better. But either way, they were also losing their flank. The south approach worked pretty well, able to get through the underground and pop up both stairs pretty easy. Zero finds a pick, another one coming in up on the top, and then it's basically just pinching in on the injective. But a really nice defensive hold from the final defender on Blaze. Almost finds all the kills he needs. I wonder why he peaked at the end in that 1v1. I had eyes on a C4 that was placed at the start of the round, and it never got utilized. And so maybe he didn't have the clicker for it. Maybe he didn't have time to pillage it off his teammates, but they had other options than having to challenge like he did.
Yeah, I think the Theta positioning was unfortunate there on that catwalk stairwell, because obviously the res there wasn't going to come out. And I have a feeling like, if I had to guess, one of those far away defenders had the clacker, right? As a last resort.
Sure.
If somebody was trying to get that cap in, he could blow that C4. So that's my thinking on that. But yeah, you're right in that it was a fantastic play on both sides. But we are getting ready to jump into our next round here, I think. Yeah, I actually dialed in their spawn properly. But yeah, Blaze on the defense now, going to be defending the Chinatown Market objective.
Blaze going to be getting the south spawn. They're going to be sending, looks like 3 south and 2 going to be coming up north on the long trek.
Right side. Yeah, there's one on the left too.
Yeah, so we've got that 3-2 split, so Blaze is going to have to be on point with their rotations to try to be able to cover both sides of this. Communications is so important here when the offense splits you onto 2 fronts. Here is their positioning. Zero tucked in on the wall. Prefontaine tucked in as well. So this is a very passive defense, not something I'm used to seeing from the Blaze side of the house, especially on Subway, where we tend to be a little bit more aggressive, but I'm sitting in the desk and they're out there on the field, folks. And just a little bit of that early patience. I think we've seen this in a lot of rounds that Mayhem plays in. They just give the defense a little time to make a mistake. Make a push. Make something, make a call that's not the right call. Play into their hands.
Yeah, they do love to let you kind of get a little nervous, get a little antsy, and then make some moves. And as you can see now, we've got some fire exchanged in the south. Cryo's going to be getting into it. But Wookie and Birds going to trade. Or not trade, sorry.
Oh, they do. No, they do trade. They do trade completely out. The headshot comes out on both sides. President Caster, Wookie there, the brunt of the fire. Shout out to him. Monarchid
Shout out to him for dying.
Theta and Monarchid here giving Cryo a run for his money. The suppressing fire coming in very heavily. None landing shots here. Theta's gonna win that just purely based on the size of his clip.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, in the north, oh no. Meanwhile, in the north, Sleepy's camera bind stops working.
Oh no, Sleepy.
At the wrong moment too. A nice nade comes over the top after a pick from James Spoke. Oh, I'm sorry, the nade from Prefontaine and a return frag from James Spoke there. As Mayhem begins to close in on the objective, Monarchid finds another kill on Cryo in the north.
There it is, Silent Night with a nice little frag. That is gonna find James on the long hallway, but now it's 2v2 as Theta and Monarchid, the final 2 Mayhem members remaining here in that south, what do we call that? The red light district. The red light district. Pushing their way down now. I can't imagine that we're going to see them split up, so Blaze is going to have to identify quickly and rotate to this positioning. I don't believe they have accurate count either.
Well, when you get those trades like what you had with Verds a little earlier on, it's pretty hard to have accurate count, unfortunately. But
Beta just teleported into a wall.
uh-oh.
Apologies for that. Looks like a strange technical issue is hitting one of the members of Mayhem. That is unfortunate.
You're going the wrong way, Theta. Come this way. Come towards the sound of my voice.
Just pop out of that wall, Theta, and everything will be. Oh no. That is
Theta,
unfortunate.
Theta.
Monarchid and Zero here gonna meet. Monarchid has his gun up, but Zero will find the pick. And the unfortunate scenario there. I'm sad to see that. I would love to have seen how that actually panned out. It would have been a tough entryway and a tough defense as well. Well, NightFiree, aside from the unfortunate, graphical anomaly, what did you think about that round? Oh, might have lost NightFiree there temporarily, folks.
There we go. Apologies.
There
I thought I was yeah, I was gonna say I just said I don't think I've seen someone fall through Suburbia in like a year, so a very unfortunate outcome there. But a pretty solid defense. It's really just a back and forth right now, right? I mean, trades going on the south side, pretty aggressive. I mean, I know you said that it's a bit of a more passive defense out of the Blaze squad, but you had Zero pretty far forward up on that south lane, and we've seen that become a bit more prominent as teams decide to invest one or two in that hard south push on defense. They'll get up over there and watch for that south entry point, and it's risky. You could be finding action in the first 20 seconds depending on where the Marsocs spawn, and they're lucky that Blaze just didn't charge in all 5 around the corner, or things could have gone a little bit differently for them. Or sorry, excuse me, Mayhem didn't charge around with all 5, but either way, a good hold from the Blaze squad. Zero ending up finding that final flank from his defensive spot, and a couple of good nades really keeping him in it. Good positioning by Mayhem too. They had 3-2 split. Their timing seemed to be on point. They were pressing the north street while they were applying pressure onto the south, splitting the defense nicely, and things just don't quite come together for them. But either way, a very nice couple of rounds.
Yeah, really good. In fact, we've been seeing more defense or more offensive wins here than defensive so far. So fortunately for the offenses in this map, which used to be Subway was such a defensive heavy, like you would either see it banned or it would just never ever get picked, with the exception of by a few teams. Now there's so many more options for Marsoc, you could almost say that it's a Marsoc heavy map.
It is, yeah. It has shifted quite a bit. I mean, the meta's shifted, especially after the additions of those new entryways. It has definitely become a more Marsoc focused map, indeed. Folks, we're gonna short technical issue. We're gonna throw you to an intermission. The stream will be back in a moment. We seem to not have the delay in place. There is a requirement for a 6-minute delay.
It's going to be 6 minutes from now.
Correct.
So you can see the action. So the stream's going to cut offline.
Yeah.
Have no concerns. The action will pick up right where we left off. We're just going to apply the delay, and you will be able to refresh the stream when we tell you to in chat, and then we'll be right back into the next round.